So today I thought we would work a little bit more on our legs, but along with the whole body. So you'll want a strap or a scarf or something, but for now you don't need it. You can just rest it on your thighs, or you can even put it on the back of your chair. Good. Now every class I try to address every part or every major part of the body, whether it's shoulders, hips, and then core, and then always balance, because balance is always something that we care about. Speaking of balance, notice how you're sitting in your chair. Observing if you are leaning right or left, if you're leaning slightly forward or slightly back. I notice that I have the tendency when I'm sitting of leaning forward like I'm getting ready to go do something. And so I have to keep reminding myself to sit more of an upright position. And for now, you can even sit back in your chair if you prefer. So we're just kind of giving ourselves time to become more centered in our bodies. And also noticing if we tend to hike up a shoulder or bring it down, maybe it's both. Good. So once we become more centered in our bodies, then we can start to notice where we are in our minds. So for example, if your mind is thinking about what you just saw on the TV before, which I was doing, I was watching the news, it's time to let that go for this moment. If your mind is running off into the future and thinking about what you're going to do later, today or later in the week, come right here. So we're going to take this moment, this hour of time, as our little oasis, our time for ourselves, for our minds and our bodies. Good. We can do that simply by noticing what we observe in this moment, right? So in this moment, you can maybe notice who's on the screen. You could notice me. You can look and notice what's around you. And I know that these are probably rooms that you spend time in a lot. But you can kind of just become aware of this moment and what you hadn't noticed before. Maybe becoming aware not just of what you see, but what you smell. Maybe you have a little leftover smells from breakfast, some coffee. Taste, same thing, taste that you had from your breakfast or coffee, or maybe you just had a drink of water and you remember that coolness of that water. Good. And we move to our hearing. So you're listening, you can hear me talking, but you might also notice any sounds that are happening around you. Good morning, Christine. Good. So noticing the sounds. And then finally coming to our sense of feeling, our tactile sense. So you can observe how the clothing feels on your skin, how your hands feel, so wherever you've rested your hands. So your palms could be down, your palms could be up. And we can also observe the temperature of the room, and if there's any air blowing, if you have a fan going. So just kind of taking in all of the five senses. This starts to make our mind come right into this present moment. And then we'll take all of those physical senses and move into our inner space, like what's happening in our emotions. How are we feeling today? Not choosing what you want to feel, but noticing how you want to feel, or how you actually feel right now. So if you'd like, you can close your eyes, or you can keep them open, whatever's comfortable for you. And as we notice our feelings, our mental state, our emotional state, you can simply acknowledge whatever you discover. There is nothing that you need to change. And as we start to connect the outer world with the inner world, we can start to observe that breath moving through the body. So the breath always continues, but we can actually start to take a little more awareness, taking an inhale, observing where the air goes in our lungs and what it makes the body do. And then taking that exhale and noticing what changes there. So we're going to continue with that awareness of the breath and start to take slower breaths and slower as you exhale as well. Take a deeper breath as well as slower. Imagining that you're now giving your body fuel. And exhaling slowly again. Now I'm picturing the toxins that leave your body with the exhale. Things that, the waste that we no longer need. Good, take 3 more rounds of breath. After those 3 rounds of breath, whatever time it takes you, you can let it go, come back to a natural breath. Good. Gently open the eyes if you have them closed. Good. So just a few moments to become centered in our practice. Then we can start to observe what it feels like to move. So you can start to rock right and rock left. Kind of just noticing how our balance shifts underneath us, and how there is a little tipping point where if you go too far you could possibly fall out of your chair, right? So what kind of things do we do? Can we just keep ourselves with our arms relaxed, or do we want to use our arms as a little bit of balance? Good. So you can kind of play with this sensation of the arms getting involved. Maybe your leg is even starting to lift. So watch your balance here. Good. We're just checking in and observing how it feels to get moving today. And this is not how we normally spend our time in our chairs. So it's kind of a fun thing to do. And then as we come back to center. Yeah, that was kind of fun, right? It's like airplanes. All right, shoulders come up. Maybe you're even squeezing a little bit, and then exhale as you release down. Let's do that 3 times more. Good. One more. Good. Exhale. Let it go. Nice job. So now we're going to start to find a little bit of a squeeze and release. So let's do right and then release while the head moves to the left. Good. So right comes up. We bring right ear to our right shoulder. And then we release that right shoulder while the head moves to the left. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. Draw it in. And then reach away. This time you can push away with that right hand. Good. In. And press. Create more length on that right side. Last one. Good. And press away. Good. Release the hand. Notice how we're starting to feel on that side of the neck. Good. Left ear, left shoulder. We're going to kind of squeeze things in. And then as we reach away, we can stretch that arm out. Good. Pull it in. And stretch it out. So we're using some opposite movements, how to contract and stretch. Good, last one. And stretch. Good, come back to center. And let's do chin to chest, feeling the back of the neck. See if you can tuck the chin up a little higher so you get really long through the back of the neck. This is where I feel tension right along the back of the neck, right? So you can use your fingertips to massage any of the areas that you find. And maybe it's right around the back of the skull, maybe it's down the sides of the neck, maybe it's almost where you attach to your shoulders. Good. And then releasing your hands, we'll just take the chin right and left a couple of times. Observing your range of motion today. Good. And then slowly bringing the head back up. Good. So let's try the strap on this. We haven't done this lately. I have my strap folded in half, and I'm just gonna bring the strap to the back of my head. I'm gonna stand so you can see. So we want the strap to the back of the head, and the arms are forward. And all we're gonna do is gently pull the strap forward and press your head back. So create a little bit of resistance there. Your arms will be doing a little bit of work. So we're gonna press back, and then we're gonna let the strap win. Chin comes down. And then we're gonna bring the head up and let the head win a little. Good, and then come back down. Let's take that 2 more times. Start to let the head win, and then let the strap win. Good, 1 more, and this is quite a bit of work on the arms as well. Good, and then just bring your strap around your neck, and just notice how that felt. So there's one thing to stretch the neck, and there's another thing to actually strengthen the muscles of the neck. And when we do this, isometric movement, we're actually putting tension so that we make that back of the neck stronger. Now we can take the same thing by turning our head to the right and then bringing that strap diagonally. So we're just kind of doing a little diagonal press back and a diagonal chin down. Just a couple of times. Good. Come back to center. Yes, nice job. Nice. Beautiful. And then we'll do look to the left and some diagonal work there too. So gently pressing your head back into the strap and then bringing the strap, letting the strap win so the chin comes slightly down. So just 2 more. Good. All right, then release the strap, bring your neck back to center. So it's kind of interesting work. I don't always remember to do this, but it really does help us strengthen our neck rather than just stretch it. All right, and last thing we can do is take our palms and press our palms into our forehead. And then see if we can resist. Let the palms win. Head comes up a little bit, and then let the head win. Head comes down. And just take that 2 more times. It looks like we have headaches. Good. When you're ready, just go ahead and release the hands. Notice the tension that has been taken off of the neck. And then we'll start our circles. So drawing the letter O. And then reversing. Good. All right. Whew. So we did some nice neck work. Just notice how it feels. This is something I try to remember to do because stretching a muscle all the time it helps in that moment, but strengthening the muscle is actually more useful. So we need both of those things. All right, from there, we're gonna go ahead and warm up the shoulders. So right hand, right shoulder, make some circles. Remember, if you have shoulder issues, you probably don't want to go too much bigger than this. And then reverse. As the shoulder comes down, we can do an up and down movement, leaning to the left, and then bring it down. Good. Let's add the breath. Inhale up, and exhale down. Beautiful. Go 3 more times. So you can keep your hand on your shoulder. You're welcome to start to stretch out the arm if you want to. I don't really feel like it yet. Good. Good. On the last one, see if you can hold for just a bit, but keep the breath going. Really puffing up that right side of the body. Good. And then release. Good. We'll roll that right shoulder around a few times. Good. And then with hand on the shoulder, right hand still, we're going to do in and out. So cross the body and then open it up. So we're basically taking a twist. Twist and twist open. Go 3 more times on your own. Keep going. I'm going to put my fan on because I'm getting hot already. Nice job. All right. And then when we go across, let's go ahead and take that right hand to the left thigh. And left hand somewhere behind us. And find a gentle twist here. Good. And then unwind to come back to center. So kind of just noticing the side. So we want to do the left side, right? Otherwise we're going to walk around like tense on one side and loose on the other one. And then people are going to be like, why are you walking around like that? You know? All right. Left hand, left shoulder. Circles. Nice small circles. Going bigger only if your shoulder likes that movement. After a few times around, reverse. I can't remember if we did that on the other side. Good. And then an up as we lean to the right. Good. And then down. So again, you can keep your hand on your shoulder. You can start to extend your arm. And bring it down. And we'll go 3 more times. So go at your own pace. You decide how fast or how far to go, but remember to keep breathing. Beautiful. This side's a little easy for me, easier than the right side. Good, and the last time we're gonna hold, keep the breath going. See if you can puff out that left side at the same time drawing the right side up. Good, and then release. Good. All right. Yeah, maybe we need to roll it around a little bit. That's good. Thank you. Sometimes I forget, and you guys remind me. All right, and then we'll do a twist, crossing, and then opening a twist. So kind of a closed twist and an open twist. Beautiful. Go 3 more times at your own pace. I always like rhythmic movement. I took a class the other day, and there's nothing wrong with it, of taking a pose and just holding it. But I like that rhythmic movement. All right, when you're ready, just release. Good. I think most people like some type of flowing movement. And then once we get the shoulders moving, maybe we've now built a little bit more tension back in the neck, so then we can kind of move the neck around again, right? So yesterday, one of you, I think it was Mickey, asked for more core work. So be aware that everything we do involves the core, right? So when we're twisting, when we're lifting, so think about it. When you do this stretch, you're not only stretching this side, you're actually using these muscles to hold yourself up. So there's a contracting that happens on this side, right? Same thing on the other. So we stretch the left, but we're contracting and lifting the right side. Good, so that's core work. And when we twist, we're actually twisting around a core. So if you're aware of that all the time, you're always doing core work, even though sometimes we do something that's specialized for the core. Same thing with cat-cow. So think about cat as pulling that belly back and then tucking the tailbone in, rounding the shoulders forward. You can go, gentle, or you can go more extreme. Good. And then when we go through cow, we actually begin to stretch the abdominal muscles, but we contract the back muscles. So we're going to go through that cat-cow, being aware more of what's happening right at the center of the body. Adding the breath for the inhale as we come into cow, and exhale to round. And you can add any arm movements you prefer. So some of you like to take the arms wide and then reach forward, so you can do that, or just slide the hands back on the thighs and down to the knees. Your choice. Let's go 2 more. Cat-cow is one of the best movements. I just love it. Good. And as you're ready, we'll just come back to a neutral spine and notice how it feels. How does our spine feel now? We've got everything moving side to side, front to back, twisting movement. Good. And then as we start to move to the hips, let's actually take a water break. I didn't realize what time it was. Let's go ahead and grab a water break. I was just getting all into it. How's everybody feeling so far? Doing all right? Okay, good. Yeah, Lulu's out there snoring right now. So I guess she's not coming by anytime soon. Okay. So we've done everything from pretty much the waist up. We've worked into, and so now as we work down, we want to become more aware of what's happening in our hips, our low back, our groin area, and then down through the legs. So just become aware of that. So let's find our first forward fold. So your choice, knees facing forward or legs wider. First, we're going to lengthen up through our spine. Good. Feel your ribs lift away from your hips. Good. If your arms are okay and you can reach up, reach. If your arms aren't happy with this, just bring your hands to your shoulders, okay? So you do what works for your shoulders today. We don't have to have arms extended to find a long spine. Good. Take a deep breath. And with an exhale, we'll release and then start to come into a forward fold. So hands can stay here. We can slide down towards the shins or the ankles. We can let the belly rest on the thighs if they get there. I like to notice how the back feels here and maybe even rock side to side. You can even take a little bit of a twist, walking your hands over to the right side in your forward fold. And then walking your hands over to the left side while your torso goes to the left. Good. And then back to center. Notice how you come up. So core is involved here. Scoop the belly back toward the spine and then roll up lower back, middle back, shoulders, and head. So that's core work too. All right? All right, so now we've gotten into the lower back. We can start to work through the hips. So let's do Charleston. So legs are wide and knees come in and out. So all we're doing is checking in with what's happening in our hip sockets. Good. And then if we want to get a little fancier, we can do knees both going the same direction, which is our windshield wiper. And then if we want to get a little fancier from here, we can take the right leg, sweep it out, and then sweep to the right, and then left leg sweeps around. So you can either just do a windshield wiper movement, or you can take the leg and sweep it around. And I know I'm holding on to my chair. I'm trying not to fall out of my chair. Good. So we're kind of just finding some active movement with our thighs. Good. Last one. I forget which one we started on. Good. Anybody find that they're sliding out of their chair? Yeah, me too. All right, so that really got the hips going though. So that's a little bit of the equivalent of when we do our circles. So you can do circles if that's better. You can hold on to it. You can use it without holding on. It's your choice. Good, and bring it down. Good. Same thing other side. Just find some hip circles. Beautiful. All right, releasing the legs down, just kind of noticing how that feels. Good. Sometimes it's nice to take a little massage right up at the top of the thighs where they connect to our torso. All right. And then as we bend that right knee, we can do a little soccer kick. Kind of checking in with the knees. How are the knees feeling today? Might do a little clicking. So I know there's something going on there. Release. Good. Left side. This one does a crunching sound. So that's not good. But I'm doing what I can to take care of this knee as much as I need to. Good. And then release. Good. All right, so then ankles. So point and flex, circle the ankle, and reverse. All this time we're working through this top of the thigh here. Good, bring it down, maybe feeling it in the hips or the low back. All right, left leg, point flex, circle ankle, and reverse. Good, bring the feet down and then just tap them out. Good, we can pretend that we're doing some tap dancing. We can swing the arms. We can do our, pretend that we're doing a tap dance move. Just play around. I've never done tap dancing in my whole life, but we could pretend, right? All right, and then just release. Yay, that feels good. That feels really good on the soles of my feet. We did a lot of walking when we had company here, and I didn't necessarily have the right shoes on. So my feet are really sore even days later from all of the walking that we did. All right, so now that we've got our hips pretty well warmed up, we can start to play with our opening out through the groin area. So right leg goes open to the right, and just notice how that feels. For me, it's a little stretch right through here, so maybe I back off a little bit. So you kind of decide how far you want to go. All right, from this position, we can find a side bend. So taking your right arm and reaching up and over. Good. And then as we come up, we'll take a twist to the right. Let's try that a couple of times. Coming forward and over to the left. Good. And then coming up and twisting to the right. Let's do one more of those. It doesn't even matter where you do the breath, just as long as you keep the breath going. And then come to center. So the right leg is off to the right. You can keep it right where it is, or you can start to stretch it out. And the toes can point out or forward. So kind of noticing that it's really a bigger ankle stretch if you turn your toes forward and try to press your foot flat. If that doesn't feel good, you can take your foot any way you want to. And again, noticing the inside of that thigh there. Good, so this really becomes like our warrior type position, except that this knee's forward. So as arms reach out, relax your shoulders, draw the belly in. Good, and from here we're going to see we can come halfway forward. See your belly and your core, you holding yourself up. Good, and then inhale, come back up. Beautiful, let's do that 2 more times. If your arms get tired, just bring your hands to your shoulders or down to your thigh. Belly draws in, shoulders are working back. Good, and then come back up. Beautiful, relax the arms. Whew, arms got tired, didn't they? And then we'll take a reverse. So left arm reaches up and over. Good. Keep your breath going, hold. Good, and then as we come up, we'll twist to the left. We'll hold for about 2 or 3 breaths here. Good, and then unwind back to center. Good, so final variation, if you need a break, shake it out. But final variation is to now take the left leg out to the left. And this right leg doesn't have to be all the way stretched. It could just be a little bent, right? But you can do this, and now we're in Warrior 2. Yeah, so your choice. We can be partly on the chair. We can be partly back off the chair. Your choice, okay? So kind of find what works for your body. This is a fairly deep movement for the hip, so be good to your hip, right? Arms reach out, palms are down, shoulders relaxed. Beautiful. From this position, we can find our peaceful warrior. Right arm reaches up, left arm reaches up, and right hand goes down. Coming into our peaceful warrior. Beautiful. Exhale back to Warrior 2. And then left elbow on thigh, right arm overhand. Remember, hand on shoulder is okay. Hand on chest. Good. Find your side angle pose. Good. Inhale back to Warrior 2. Good, and then releasing the arms. Let's make our way back to seated. Bring that right leg forward and just notice how this side feels. We had that leg off to here for quite a while. I know we've got the strap, we'll get to it in just a moment. All right, let's start that same sequence on the other side. So left leg moves to the left. Good, and so what we're gonna do is find right hand down, yes, and then left arm overhead. So we're finding a side stretch. Good, and then come back up. And then a twist to the left. Unwind. Side bend. Back up. Twist. Let's do one more. Back to center. Good. So again, if this starts to get a little too tired, you can shake it out. You can bring it in a little bit. You can just notice how that feels. So the next variation, left leg reaches off to the side. I'm scooting just so you can see where my foot is. Black on black doesn't work so well, so we're just kind of noticing how this feels. So it's okay if you want to keep your legs like this, but if you can stretch out the leg, you'll just get a different sensation in the hip, okay? All right, right knee facing forward, arms reach out, palms are down, relax the shoulders, but draw the shoulders back. Good, where's your core? Draw that belly in, and then let's see if we can do a little bow, halfway down, and then back up. Good, two more, go at your own pace. Controlling the movement slowly. Good, come back up, release the arms, nice, beautiful. All right, so now we have the option to start taking that right leg off to the right a little bit more, even if you need to bend the left knee a little, okay? So we're gonna try and find our warrior two position on this side. Good, so you can either have your tush kind of at the edge of your seat, or you may even slide it so that only your right thigh is on the chair. So your choice, okay? Good, now arms reach out, palms are down, shoulders relaxed. Remember, we did all this work for our shoulders and our neck, so we want to try to keep that relaxation there. And then we're going to take that right palm up, reach up, left hand to the left thigh. Hold for another breath or two. Keep lifting that right side. Good, and back to warrior two. Right elbow bends, bring it onto the thigh, and then left arm is either on the shoulder or reaches up diagonally. Think about your core, what's holding you up here? What if you were not leaning on that right elbow? Would you still be able to hold yourself up? Good, and then inhale back to warrior two. Good. Relax the arms. We're just going to take our time to bring our legs back to center and just say, whew, that's a lot of hip work, isn't it? Shake it out, wiggle it out. Maybe circle around a bit. All right. Okay, so finally, let's do another water break and then we'll come into the leg stretches. In some ways, doing these poses on the chair is sometimes a little deeper than we would if we were standing. For example, this warrior two is pretty far down. If I was doing this in standing, I wouldn't go quite this wide. I wouldn't go quite this wide in warrior two standing. So in a way, using the chair allows us to go a little deeper than we normally would, but it's a little less effort because we've got the chair underneath us. All right, so now let's take our strap or scarf or belt, whatever you have, and we're going to bring that strap, the center of the strap under the right foot. And then start to stretch that leg out, not up, but out, until you actually feel the knee opening up. It doesn't, you'll still want a little bit of bend in that knee, okay? All right, so a couple of choices. Sit up nice and tall, and elbows are either back by your sides or you reach your arms forward. I like it back by the sides. And then you can play with up and down. Trying not to lean back to make that happen. Try to make it happen from the back of the thigh in this flexor. And we're just checking. What do we feel, right? Good. And take a little rest when you need to. Shake out the leg. And let's try a couple of variations. So right leg reaches out, sitting up nice and tall. Almost feel as if you could draw your right hip into the right socket a little bit more. And then we can do turn toe in, turn toe out. Feel the difference. In, out. Good. With the toes turned out, with the right toes turned out, reach both ends of the strap into your right hand and then open that right leg out. Any amount. Doesn't have to be far. Maybe the left arm reaches out too. So think about 4 different directions here. Left arm reaches out, right leg reaches out, crown of the head reaches up, left foot presses down, and then maybe we look over to the left. Good. Beautiful. Look forward. Bring the leg back. Just take both ends of the strap into your left hand. And then we're just going to see, can we do up and over a little? It may not be a lot. It may only be here. We may get over. And we're just going to see if we can find just a little outer hip stretch here. Good. Maybe looking to the right. Good. And then looking center, bend the knee, release the leg, shake it out. So the strap allows us to have something to push our foot into. Because if you think about trying to extend that leg without having anything to push into, you're going to feel a lot differently there. Okay, left side. So left side, knee bends, foot is up. Strap is right underfoot. We start to reach it out. Doesn't matter how high. Feel the back of the knee open, but keep a little bend in the knee. Good. Then you can decide if you want to do up and down. If you do up and want to hold for a little bit. Good. You can do toe in, toe out. Good. Take a little break. Good. And then as we reach out, kind of pushing out with the heel, take both ends of the strap in your left hand. And then start to take that leg off to the left side. How far you go is up to you. Think about the 4 different directions. Right arm reaches out. We're moving 4 different directions here. Good. Looking to the right if you can. Keep the breath steady, the mind steady. And then when you're ready to release, we're going to look forward, bring the leg back. Good. Again, take a little break when you need to. But then both ends of the strap in the right hand. And just see if you can do a little up and over. Yeah, kind of as if you were trying to cross your thighs over. All right, left arm reaches out. Sit up nice and tall, look to the left. Good. Look back to center. Bend the knee, release the strap. Nice job, everybody. Shake it out. Good. So the strap is kind of a nice way to play with that position. And then just taking a little break, we can do another forward fold. Knees wide or knees together. Good. Slowly come back up. All right, so if you're up for doing some standing poses, we'll take a little water break and then make our way to standing any way you'd like. And walk around, so if you need the chair in front of you for balance support, just go ahead and have it nearby. first thing I like to do is simply wiggle out the hips, especially after we've been doing some hip movement, and then circle and reverse. This is kind of my go-to lately. Good. All right, and then finding our mountain pose. Feet are right beneath the hips, toes are facing forward. Good. And we've been talking a little bit about balance. So how's your balance just standing? Notice if you tend to lean more to one side than the other. Try to find it even. Shoulders are relaxed. Beautiful. All right, we'll start with hands to heart. Finding our prayer hands pose. Good, and with an inhale, we're going to take the arms up, and exhale, make a circle coming down. Good, and let's reverse that. Reach up, and hands to heart. Good, couple times. Inhale, so if you're having shoulder issues, you're going to only go to here, and then out and down. Good, and if you're, again, shoulder issues just to here, and hands to heart. Beautiful, so we'll go, let's go one more. So anybody who's going bigger goes all the way up and down. And then reverse that. Good, hands to heart. Good. All right, take the feet a little bit wider. Toes are still facing forward. Good. Begin to bend the knees, then your hips back, like our chair pose. But we've got a wider stance here. Notice how that feels. Think about tucking the tailbone slightly down, lower belly in. We're in our chair, but in a wider stance. Good. All right, and then slowly coming back up. Good, and then if you'd like, reach up and maybe even lift your chest here. So we're finding just a little bit of a back bend. Good. Hands to heart, neutral spine, tailbone back. A little bit of a crouch. Good, and then up. And a little opening of the heart. Good, last one. Good, and then up. Good. Bring your hands back. Turn your toes out a little bit and we'll just swing to release some of that tension we just created. From our mountain pose, remember you can always have your chair. We're going to do a little lunge. So all we're going to do is step back with the right foot, keep the heel lifted, and then bend the left knee. So just take a look. Can you keep this position and check in with your balance? So if you're feeling wobbly, hand goes to the chair, or the feet go wider left to right. Okay, so pick whatever works for you. Beautiful. So we're really thinking about tailbone reaching down, lower belly pulling up. This is core. Hips working and balance. All of it is together. Nice job. A little bit of wobbling that happens. Hands come to hips. Right foot steps forward. Ooh, good. Wiggle it out. All right. And then left. So again, step back, left foot. Give yourself some time to get organized here. Maybe you need to go wider left to right. Maybe you need a shorter step. The back heel is lifted, the front knee is bent. Good. So you can check in here. If you're feeling stable, you can reach arms or hands to prayer, whatever works for you here. But think about your balance from one foot to the other. Beautiful. All right, hands to hips, step the back foot forward. Nice. Good. Wiggle out the hips side to side. And do a little bit of circles. So lunge can be really simple. Lunge could be a tiny, tiny step back. Lunge can be bigger. So anybody who wants a deeper lunge, we're taking a bigger step back with that right foot. Still checking the tailbone down, lower belly lifting, and then coming into our lunge. So you can do bigger, you can do smaller, right? So you can do any variation that works for your body here. We can start to take the arms out and bow forward. So again, core, balance, a lot of the body working here. Good. And then arms reach up and then step forward. Good. Last time. Left leg back. Again, small or big, up to you. Good. Get yourself organized first. Feel everything sturdy right through here. Steady. Good. Then find your lifting of your chest. Beautiful. Hold on to your chair if you need to. It's okay. Try to look at a spot that's not moving. Yes. All right. Then option, arms out, palms down, and a bow. Maintaining that balance between your feet. And then back up. Hands to hips. Back foot steps forward. Phew. That was enough, huh? All right, let it go. Do a swing, do a march. That was strong stuff. Lunges are very powerful. They can be difficult if you have low back issues. That's why I always talk about really engaging through here so that we're not dumping into this low back area. All right, maybe a downward facing dog. So hold on to your chair and step the legs back. Reach your hips back. Stretch that space under your arms, under your armpits. You can wiggle it here. You can lift one heel and then the other like a pony prance. And then as you're ready, look forward and just slowly walk yourself back to upright. Nice job, everybody. Woo. Let's make our way back down. Grab some water if you need to. I know I'm thirsty. So you may notice that we didn't do a specific balance pose per se, like standing on one foot, but that lunge by itself is quite a bit of balance. And it's more similar to what we do in life. Now, though we don't do this when we're in real life, we walk and we split our balance between 2 feet when we take a step. When we step up on a curb, it's basically, that lunge is what helps us stay stronger. Okay, good. Phew. So now we'll probably need a little stretch through those hips and the legs. So if you can, right ankle over left thigh. If you decide that this is not working for you, it's another nice place for a strap. Because instead of having ankle to the thigh and you can't get there, you can just bring your ankle in front of your shin. Okay? So it's just an option. Good. Notice how this feels on that right thigh. Some of you are really flexible, and I'm going to give you the option of bringing your heel closer to your groin. That's tough on my knee, so I'm not going to do it, okay? But just know that that's an option. Good. So from there, let this side relax a little, but keep your spine long. Draw the belly in. If you have room, we can hinge forward. So even as we're leaning forward, our belly is drawing back and our tailbone is kind of in a neutral position here. You can stay here, you can drape your hands across your shins and use the weight of your arms to draw yourself deeper, only if it feels good in your body. Good, take one more breath. And when you exhale, we'll scoop that belly in, come back to center. Good. And then uncross the leg, shake it out. All right. And then we'll set up for a second side. So either you take that left ankle in front of the right shin and bring it up with the belt, or we bring the ankle to the thigh. Okay? I know A lot of you have issues like one hip is different than the other. So kind of just listen. What you do on one side may not be the same as the other. And again, those of you who are extra flexible have the option to bring the heel closer to the ground. For me, that's a little too hard on the knee. Good. So this is another one of those poses where there's a lot of different things happening here. We've got work happening on the hips, we've got work happening on the knees, lower back area. So again, lengthen your spine, draw that belly in, keep this posture of your spine, and then see if you have any room to hinge. Good. So take your time. It may only be just a tiny amount or none at all. Yeah. And if you have the ability to drape your arms over your shin, you can try that. And this is really a pose where you can either work or you can just relax into it. So your choice, right? You can kind of soften and hang into it. Or you can keep the spine drawing up and your belly drawing in for core work. Good. When you're ready to come up, slide it back up. Good. Uncross the legs, send it out to the side, shake it out. So we did a lot of work on our hips and our legs today. So we're going to now give them some love. Do a little bit of wiggling, do some circles. Good. Reverse. Yesterday's classes, I think, yeah. So for those of you who were there, I think that circles are the perfect movement. We do circles with our neck, right? We can do circles to warm up our neck. We can do circles with our shoulders. So if you wake up and you only have 10 minutes before you need to get going and you really need to move, do circles. So head, shoulders. We did circles with our body. And reverse. We did circles with our leg, getting into the hip. And other side. So you notice how this feels different maybe than the first time we did them when we were really warming things up. And then finally, we can do circles with the ankles and the wrists. If you want, you can sit all the way back. And then just get the wrists and ankles going. So this is kind of perfect. If you just think about circles, you can do every part of the body in a fairly shorter period of time. All right, and then just release. Beautiful. So let's take our inhale, open out the arms wide. We can never forget the hugs. And exhale, give yourself a hug. Rock side to side. Nice pat on the back. Good. Notice which arm's on top because we're going to switch. Inhale. And exhale, opposite arm on top. Good. And again, circles, right? You can do circles with your elbows. You can do circles with your body. Ready, take an inhale and a big exhale. Let it relax. Sitting back in your chair, give yourself a minute to move anything that you need to. If there's something we didn't get to, or that we did and you want to repeat, it's fine. This is your time. If you're ready for Shavasana, you just sit back in your chair and let yourself rest. Either sitting up or leaning back. And just as we did at the beginning where we become aware of the 5 senses of the body, we can do that again. Tuning into your senses, tuning into your breath. Beginning to slow everything down. Maybe even closing the eyes. So you may even notice that there's a little bit of sensation in the body where we've worked today. You can be aware of that and at the same time let it go because we don't need that pose anymore today. Let the breath just move in its natural rhythm. And let your brain stay tuned in to how you feel. Not fixing, not diagnosing, but just noticing. As each exhale happens, we let go more. We may sink a little more into the chair. And then very, very gently, without really being in a rush to do anything, just come back to the sense of your breath moving through your body. The blood circulating through your body. Your heart pumping. And then with very awareness of what's ready, you can start to move fingers and toes. Maybe wrists, maybe ankles. Maybe the head's ready to move. This is like we're just coming back out of our final relaxation pose, like if we're just waking up for the first time today. Good. Maybe stretching bigger as you take an inhale. Good. And then maybe opening your eyes when you're ready. Good. Let's take another deep inhale with arms out or just arms relaxed. And a big sigh. Good. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart, acknowledging everything that you hold dear to your heart, right? So you can think of everything you hold dear to your heart and keep that with you. So take care of yourselves today, find joy, find comfort, and just keep going. The light in me sees and honors the beautiful light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.